director of the Chicago Teachers Union. We are standing strong with Firefighters Local 2 because our contract, we stood together just a few weeks ago. Both our contracts were outstanding. We were lucky to settle our historic agreement just on Monday, but we're standing here today because our firefighters and paramedics deserve the same. They deserve a contract now. And so we're here at City Hall to tell the City of Chicago, to tell our City Council it's time to invest and take care of the people who take care of us. So I am happy to introduce our first speaker, the Vice President of Local 2, Eric Steinmetz.
Thank you, everyone. As we approach 4 years without a contract, here's a little timeline of what we've worked through in that time period. As we led into our contract expiring, we started working through the COVID-19 pandemic. We worked through civil unrest where we saw more fires in one single day than in the modern history in the fire department. So we continued working through COVID-19. We lost 4 members from this pandemic, and we still showed up every day when others were social distancing. We went and embraced Chicago citizens in our own arms and watching this pandemic kill them right before our very eyes and our own members. As we worked into 2022, once again, we're working through a ballooning run volume with decrepit apparatus, no additional resources. The only additional thing we got was probably about the population of Peoria came to Chicago with migrants. And still, we treated them without prejudice and gave them the dignity that they deserve, same as we feel we deserve. As we went to 2023, we saw the deadliest year on the fire department in 25 years for our members, losing 4 of our members. After that, we move up to now. At one period, we had 13 meetings in 12 months. And in those 13 meetings, we sat and negotiated for a total of 23 hours and 6 minutes. In a year, the city couldn't give us what we give the citizens of Chicago every 2 days, 24 hours of time, one of our shifts. They couldn't do that for us. We're here to tell you, we're demanding that you come out and end this nonsense. Give our members the contract they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Let's give these members the contract they deserve. You heard Eric's testimony over the last 4 years, what our firefighters and paramedics have been through. It's time to get this settled. I'm excited to introduce now Secretary Treasurer of Local 2, Tony Martin.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, media, and everybody for attending this rally. This contract is not just about us. It's about you. It's about all of you. It's about every citizen in the city of Chicago. When you have an ambulance that is the busiest ambulance in the United States of America, in the whole country, and you have people that are waiting in extensive periods of time for an ambulance, that's wrong. Everybody deserves better. When you have fire engines, all right? Companies, the men and the women on the Chicago Fire Department take a lot of pride in the apparatuses and the equipment that they ride and the equipment that they bring to the scene. They want this stuff to be good, and they want it to work, and they want to be able to take care of you. But take a look at these rigs today. They're loaded with tape. Why? Because they're garbage. We don't want to put, you don't have the company logos on the side of these rigs anymore. You got duct tape. And so you've got wheels falling off of rigs. That's wrong, and we have videos of this, where you have wheels on the side of the road. So firemen are not only worried about whether we're going to be able to, to get there and, and help serve the citizens of the city, we're worried about whether we're going to get there safely. That's wrong. No brakes, catching fire. Come on. If this is a world-class city, history has shown us time and again, not that something might happen, but something will happen. And when something happens in this city, are we going to be able to be there for the citizens of Chicago? And every day that goes by, with these people in this building not addressing these problems, they are ignoring not only the men and the women of the Chicago Fire Department, they're ignoring you.
That ain't right.
That's not right.
That ain't right.
So just understand, this fight is not about greed. This fight isn't about us wanting, an immense amount of money. We're trying to be fair. We've got people downstate fighting for a brass bill, exempt rank pensions. We're not against. We're not into greed. We just think that these young guys coming on the job, their pension should be at least as decent as the guys that have been on the job for a long time, right? It's not about greed. It's about what's right. So help us help you. We shouldn't be negotiating for more ambulances. We shouldn't be fighting for, rigs that are going to work, that aren't catching fire, wheels on the side of the road. You know what I mean? This is something that every citizen in the city of Chicago should be fighting for, because the next time that rig comes out of that firehouse, it may be coming to your house.
Thank you so much, Tony. Powerful remarks. This is a world-class city. It's one of the richest cities, richest economies in the world. We have to invest in our fire and emergency systems. Just like CTU, we demand investment in our schools. And this is a solidarity rally, you all. How many unions are out here this morning? How many workers took time off to be here in solidarity with Local 2 today? I'm excited to introduce my sister, Nora Flanagan, a Local 2 wife and CTU member and organizer.
Good morning. My name is Nora Flanagan, and I'm a high school English teacher of 25 years, now on staff at the Chicago Teachers Union. I'm also married for 25 years yesterday to a lieutenant on the Chicago Fire Department. We are CPS parents. We are born and raised Chicagoans, and we care deeply about this city and its residents. Matt's at the firehouse today because of course he is. But he's here for me and Chicago's teachers, as he has been my entire career, including our strikes. Our sons grew up on the picket line with me, just like they grew up climbing on fire trucks when we'd visit the firehouse. My sons always understood that part of mom's job has been fighting for better schools for every kid in Chicago. And I've seen Local 2's solidarity in moments of celebration, like promotions and retirements, and in moments of unspeakable grief. You all are there for each other and with each other. This isn't just a job for any of us. We talk in our house about how firefighters need rigs that can stay in operations, like we need safe, healthy school buildings. We're both up against evaluation processes that punish more than they educate and support and develop our workers.
That ain't right.
We both need fair compensation to attract and keep safe, efficient, and effective staffing levels. When my husband's pass alarm goes off, I want someone there to save his life.
Yeah.
And Chicago is working its paramedics to injury, illness, and worse. We have to stop letting people divide us within our unions and across our unions.
That's right.
We are the workers that make Chicago work.
That's right. That's right.
And we have more in common with each other than with any of the people that want to divide us.
That's right.
The only people that win when we believe we have to fight each other for scraps are the bosses and the billionaires. And none of them actually care about our firefighters and paramedics. If our city can find money for Lincoln Yards, it can find money for more ambulances. If our city can find money for a new Google headquarters, we can afford better fire trucks. If there's money for NASCAR, there's money for nurses and social workers. And it's not about who's in City Hall, because we've had to fight like this for as long as I can remember. Chicago needs to prioritize the people who keep us safe, who answer the call when we need them the most, who educate our children, fight for stronger schools and communities in every neighborhood, Chicago is the greatest city in the world. But we need to take care of our firefighters and paramedics, our teachers and clinicians and paraprofessionals, because these are the people who give their all to the city of Chicago. Our members just ratified a new contract with record support, and now we wait for its official approval from the Board of Education. But we had to fight for things that are basic, that should be basic. Nothing seems more obvious than to say that when we call 911, there should be enough vehicles in service to answer that call. Both of our unions deserve a fair contract, and they need it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Nora. Chicago is a union town, and I am very honored now to introduce some of our most powerful labor leaders. First, I get to introduce Chicago Federation of Labor President Bob Ryder. Thank you.
My name is Bob Ryder. I'm president of the Chicago Federation of Labor. The CFL represents 300 unions and in turn represent 500,000 working people here in Chicago, Illinois, the hometown of the American labor movement. Two of those unions are represented by the folks that stand behind me. Chicago Teachers Union Local 1 and Chicago Firefighters Local 2. Now, just to be clear, I think they're both number 1. But let's be honest about where we're at. There is been a campaign against working people for a very long time. And we see it come up in some of the most obvious ways, but a lot of it happens in the most of subtle ways. And one of the things they like to do is pit worker against worker. Believe me, there is enough resources in this town to support our teachers and our firefighters. There is enough resources in this town to support our folks who work in the service industry and in the construction industry. What we need is more fairness. No one is looking to tear down the city. This city is great because of the people who live and work here. We are the ones who build it up. I've got to tell you, I represent a number of our fire unions here in Cook County. And what I've experienced in working with my firefighter unions is that in some places, people like to invest in their firefighters, but in way too many places, there's people taking stuff out. And whether they're taking it out by not paying them fairly or driving the district into debt, the thing that's common is that it's not the public that's being served. And I said it on Monday. If you want to do something, if you want to place a bet on anyone in this city, you could do it on your teachers or do it on your firefighters. They're the real deal. They are the glue. They are the mortar. They are the cement of our communities. So I'm here to say the labor movement has the back of the Chicago firefighters, and we will raise as much hell as we need to raise to make sure that this contract gets done. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Local 2 will fight for you. 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 All right. Woo! All right, we are moving to a close, but now I have the great honor to introduce my president, Stacey Davis Gates of the Chicago Teachers Union.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
And greetings from CTU Local 1. Listen, you all, Chicago is a big neighborhood that's connected by working people from the north side to the south side, from the lake all the way to the Austin neighborhood. And every time we talk about working people and what they need in the city, there's someone with a microphone and a camera asking us, how are we going to pay for it? The issue is not the rig or the classroom. The issue is not 911 or the school clerk in the office. The issue is the lack of revenue coming into the city to pay for the services that our families need. So I would submit today with all of the aldermen here. I see progressive aldermen. Huh? I see progressive aldermen. I see conservative aldermen. Labor unites. So if labor can unite the downtown alderman to the little village alderman, what we can also do is figure out how to land a contract that keeps all of us safe. And here's an idea. Let's not beg for it. Let's pay for it.
Right.
And let's pay for it by asking everyone who benefits from public education, first responders, to pay more. We're living in a country right now where rich people are going to the moon for a 20-minute trip.
Right.
But we are begging to put brakes on rigs.
Right.
We live in a country right now where rich people are taking over the government and laying off federal workers.
Right.
So I have an idea. I believe that in the city of Chicago, that rich people get to pay more, so our rigs can be fixed, so our firehouses can be modernized, so the people who keep us safe can work with safe working conditions.
Right.
So we can do two things here as a labor movement. AFSCME, the iron workers, the operating engineers, the teachers, all of us. We can figure out how working people get contracts that dignify their families, their households, their neighborhoods, this city. And we can also figure out at the same time how to get our elected officials to tell rich people they have to pay for it too. We are doing our fair share. We are working in your neighborhood school. We are driving your ambos and coming to your rescue when you call 911. We are answering the 911 call too, by the way, sister.
Yes, ma'am.
So here's the thing. Don't tell us you can't pay for it. When you pay for thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to develop downtown. You can develop downtown and you can pay the firefighter. You can develop downtown and you can lower the class size. You can develop downtown and you can develop the neighborhoods we live in. Because by the way, as city workers, we live in this city. So I would submit that this labor movement is going to work with Local 2 to land this contract. 4 years is too damn long.
That's right.
And we are going to unite with all of the older people here and create revenue streams to make sure that we ain't begging, but we are prospering. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. We don't. Fair contract. Now. Fair contract. Now. All right. Fair contract. Now. Fair contract. Now. And finally, I get to introduce President of Local 2, President Pat Cleary, who is our brother who we've been standing with. I'm so excited. Here he is. Here we go, Pat.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the brothers and sisters from all the unions for coming here. This is solidarity. This is what it's all about. Operating engineers, painters, iron workers, SEIU, FOP, teachers, you name it, plumbers, animal control, see everyone from the CFL. Thank you for being here. To all the aldermen, senators, state reps, thank you for being here. When we took this job, we took an oath. And we knew with that oath there was implicit dangers. However, each contract, those dangers get worse because we get less manpower, worse rigs, being overworked, understaffed, and we're sick and tired of it. We're tired of going down. We want to go up. We want our manpower back. We want our buggy drivers back. We want more ambulances because the citizens deserve the ambulances. You need at least 20 more. We're willing to negotiate 20 more, whether you give it to us in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. We're not greedy. We're willing to negotiate it. We need to get rid of our manning variances. We have rigs that only run with 4 men or women on those rigs. NFPA and NIOSH clearly state we need 5. Right. New York has 5 to 6. We're asking just for 5 on every rig. If they can't do it immediately, do it gradually so that we get to that point. We're not being greedy. Battalion chief aides, we had a firefighter die, Sean Plummer. I don't want him to die in vain. His May Day was delayed 7 minutes because we no longer had a battalion chief aide. We used to have them. That battalion chief aide's job was to listen to Fireground. That battalion chief was on a different channel doing his job and couldn't hear his May Day. Had that battalion chief aide been there, that May Day would have been heard and he would have been rescued immediately and not delayed 7 minutes. If you can't bring back those battalion chief aides immediately, do it gradually. We're not being greedy. And also, we haven't had a pay raise in 4 years.
That ain't right.
That's not right. These are just common sense things that help us serve the people. I can't fight a fire with not enough manpower. I can't save you if I don't have an ambulance to stick you in. The alarm office is constantly, every day, asking for ambulances. Is there an ambulance available? We need one out in Inglewood. Is there an ambulance? Anyone available? They'll find an ambulance up on the north side who's now got to shoot out to Inglewood. That's not acceptable. The citizens deserve better. So I'm calling on the mayor and the aldermen to find the money to rectify this, to bring our manpower back to where it should be, to get us the battalion chief aides and get the ambulances. And if you can't do it today, do it gradually over time and take a look at our rigs. They're falling apart, they're catching fire, the tires are falling off. Half of you don't realize some of them break down at fires. You might not know it, we know it. We've had tower ladders get stuck in the upright position with our members stuck in it outside of a burning building. You guys don't realize it, we do. So please, citizens of Chicago, all you unions, aldermen, mayors, state reps, please support us to bring us back to where we should be. We're tired of going down. Each contract, they cut more, they cut more, they cut more, and that's not the oath I took. I didn't take an oath to work in worse fire conditions. I want better fire conditions. Thank you for coming out. Let's go Local 2.
But we can take a few questions. No delay. Give us a contract today. All right. Any questions for President Cleary?
What are the main sticking points?
What's the main sticking points? Got 1 and 2.
Main sticking points for the firefighters union is the manpower issues. We need 5-man rigs. NFPA states we should have 5 to 6. We have 4 to 5. We're just asking for 5. Big issue, because when I pull up at a fire scene and the rig only has 4 people on it that day, guess what? Either those 4 are carrying equipment for 5 people into one of these high rises, and when they get up there, they're dead tired because they're carrying more equipment than they should be. That's not good. Other issue, ambulances. We need at least 20 ambulances. And if they can't afford to purchase 20 today, buy 5 this year, buy 5 more the next year, and get to 20 eventually. Battalion chief aides. Sean Plummer died because his May Day was not heard. It wasn't heard for 7 minutes because we got rid of our battalion chief aides. We need to bring them back. Those are the big issues. The city says no to everything. They won't agree to it because it costs money. here. The FOP working hard at work. The FOP went back to 2017, 7 years without a contract. SEIU, they're without a contract 3 years. Teachers, 1 year. We're 4 years without a contract. This is not, if this is a labor town, that would not be going on.
Do you think having the teacher union stand with you and the fact that they just signed a contract is going to help your cause here?
Yes. We've stood with them before and they're standing with us now. We stood with them in 2012. We went out on strike with them right here downtown Chicago and marched with them. We stood outside the public schools with them and now they got our back. And I appreciate it.
All right, we got to head into City Hall. They're going to call. Yeah, nice.
The 24th and the 28th. And they need to send people who can make decisions. That's what needs to be done. We need decision makers in the room. I don't need to go to another meeting where they say, okay, yeah, we got to go talk to budget and let budget decide. Budget doesn't decide fire tactics and fire strategy. They don't understand when they cut a man off my rig that I'm putting my men and women in danger. They don't understand that. And they need to have these people in the room with me so I can tell them that. That's what needs to go on here. Decision makers need to come here. Budget people need to come to the meeting.
What about the mayor? Do you think he should be at the meeting?
If he wants to, he's invited.
There we go. Let's take it to City Council now.
That's right. We're going to go into City Council now and let them know how we feel. Thank you for supporting us.
All right.
Never be divided.